Here we're asked to find the midpoint of a specific line segment, and it's just a formula you guys are meant to know, but I want to talk about it briefly because I want you guys to have a way to memorize the formula, because normally when you're doing this at the higher levels, no one really cares about the midpoint. You need it for something else, and it becomes a smaller part of a bigger problem. And if you have to go get that formula up every time, it's going to be a pain in the butt. So what you have probably learned, I think, is that if you have 2 points, the midpoint is going to be the sum of the two x values divided by 2, and the sum of the y values also divided by 2. And maybe you've never even seen that formula before. It really depends on what classes you've had in the past. What I just want to mention is, if we're trying to find the middle of something, it's kind of like finding an average. And for me, it made a lot more sense to think about this formula and this formula as simply the average of the x values and the average of the y values. And this way, as I was doing tests or doing homework assignments, I didn't have to think about, oh, was it x1 plus x2? Was it subtraction? What order was stuff in? I just knew that I was looking for that middle type term, which is kind of like an average. And so I know how to take an average pretty easily. So this midpoint is going to be 3 minus 1 over 2. That's the average of the x values, is of course going to be equal to 1. And then the average of the y values, negative 1 plus 7 over 2, is going to be 3. And that's it. It's just a formula I do for the test or quizzes. Expect you to kind of know that off the top of your head. It won't be given to you, but if you think of a midpoint as an average and you know how to take an average, you won't have any problem remembering that. Good luck.